Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We're glad to have you join us. I am Lydia Odidiochi. You can follow this news live on our website nta.ng/live, NTA News Now, and other social media platforms displayed on your screen. Federal government officials have been directed to henceforth refrain from using private emails for official purposes. President Muhammadu Buhari, who gave the directive, said all federal public institutions must also migrate their websites to relevant government domains produced by the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. This was while formally unveiling the national policy on Nigerian government second-level domains, as well as the National Data Strategy 2023 to 2027. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Apart from preserving the identity, security, and global recognition of the Nigerian government on the internet, the use of private emails for official purposes is also a major limitation to the capabilities of securing, archiving, and backing up sensitive data, thereby making it difficult to preserve critical government documents hosted on non-government servers. While this national policy on Nigerian government second-level domains has the purpose of, amongst others, protecting Nigerian cyberspace, promoting transparency in government, and enhancing digital Nigeria, the National Data Strategy has a goal of making data accessible, shareable, and actionable for social and economic gains.
As an administration, we acknowledge that data is the core of the digital economy and a catalyst for wealth generation in the fourth industrial revolution. Nigeria can significantly benefit from the economic and social potentials of data, and we can become a leader in the emerging global data economy. And this national data strategy is a step in the right direction.
The launch brings to 21 the number of new national policies and strategies developed by the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy since 2019, and President Buhari formally applauded the Minister, Professor Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantemi, for his commitment to the implementation of the mandate on digital economy.
I urge the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy to keep up the excellent work. We are very proud of the great strides of our digital economy sector and the impact it has had on the different sectors of our economy. I hereby direct the Honorable Minister to ensure that all relevant institutions and stakeholders ensure the faithful implementation of the national policy on the Nigerian government second-level domains and the national data strategy.
And we strongly believe that the implementation of these two policies, and most importantly the compliance of these two policies by our citizens, will go a long way in supporting government to continue to consolidate the achievements of the sector and even all other sectors of our economy. Because today, digital technologies are no more a standard sector, but rather it is the key enabler of all other sectors.
Describing as unprecedented the contributions of the ICT sector to the nation's gross domestic product, which is now 3 times more than the oil sector, the President is also delighted that with the deployment of Starlink services, the first in Africa, Nigeria has achieved 100% broadband penetration in the nation's digital economy journey. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says It is collaborating with the Nigeria Police, Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), and the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit (NFIU) to address unpatriotic behavior, which includes the sale and abuse of newly designed banknotes. Statement by Director Corporate Communications of the bank, Osita Nwanisobi, indicates that the CBN is concerned about the queues at ATMs and reported cases of unregistered persons and non-bank officials swapping banknotes for members of the public, purportedly on behalf of the CBN. The Apex Bank warned that it is unlawful to sell the naira, hurl, spray, or stamp on the currency under any circumstance according to Section 21, subsection 3 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 as amended. It stipulates that spraying of, dancing or stepping on the naira or any note issued by the bank during social occasions is punishable under the law by fines or imprisonment or both. The statement explains the CBN is working to address the challenge of queues at ATMs and directed deposit money banks to commence the payment of the redesigned naira notes over the counter, subject to a maximum daily payout limit of 20,000 naira. Now our next story is on a building collapse. A 3-story building has collapsed in the Gwarimpa area of Abuja. 2 laborers working on the site were reported to have been injured, while several others are still feared trapped in the rubble. Meanwhile, rescue operations are ongoing at the site. It is barely a week to deadline of the 10 days extension for the retrieval of the old naira notes. The situation seems to be the same for as cash-strapped Nigerians struggle to adjust to the new reality. But the Able is standing by with an update from some markets in the FCT. Okay, we'll go to our next story. We'll bring that subsequently. Okay, now, Nigeria has made massive progress in managing the economy despite challenging local and global developments that characterize the year 2022. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, at the 65th session of the State House briefing said the gains were achieved through active collaboration with other ministries, departments and agencies as well as development partners. The year also witnessed the development, approval and launch of the National Development Medium-Term Plan 2021 to 2025 and the completion of Nigeria's Agenda 2050. The year also witnessed investments in critical infrastructure, citizen participation in the budgetary process, as well as data supply. President Muhammadu Buhari administration has projected the image of Nigeria positively since he assumed office in 2015. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama made this known at the 22nd edition of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration scorecard series featuring foreign affairs.
One of the things Mr. President has put a premium on is that good relations, not just with the countries around Nigeria, but with countries around the world. Nigeria is one of the few countries that has no enemies. There's no country you can look at and say, we are fighting this country over any issue. Even Cameroon, with the Bakassi Peninsula, we resolve that peacefully.
Nationwide continues as we join Hingino in Lagos for more stories. Hingino.
The Nigerian Immigration corridor, the need to ensure a good working environment is key. This was the take of the Minister of Interior, Benny Rauf Aregbesola, at the inauguration of the office complexes of Alagbon Command and the Egbeda Passport Office of the Nigeria Immigration Service in Lagos. Adobe Obiechina tells us more.
That was the inauguration of both buildings in Alagbo and Alimosho, with the influx of Nigerians and non-Nigerians seeking solutions to various immigration needs in the country. The creation of more office complexes becomes imperative, especially in Lagos State. The Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, said more command offices will be inaugurated across the nation to meet with international best practices.
If you want good service, if you want efficiency, if you are interested in quality performance, the work environment must be motivating, must be attractive, motivating, and good.
The increasing migration of people through the border, as well as being home to the busiest international airport in the country, makes the state one of the locations of interest to the Nigerian Immigration Service.
The Controller General, Nigerian Immigration Service, Issa Jere Idris, applauded the minister for the building, saying this will ease traffic in the already crowded passport offices within the state, as operations in the new offices will commence immediately.
Given the economic realities of the country, we must hold dearly what we have and put this building to good use. Safety measures must also be strictly adhered to at all times.
The minister and other dignitaries in attendance were taken on an inspection tour of the buildings. In Lagos, Adobe Obiechina, NTA News.
Now, in preparation for the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, Registrar of the Joint Admissions Matriculation Examination Board, JAMB, Professor Isiaq Oloyede, has inspected some computer-based centers in Lagos to ensure compliance with the board standards. Our correspondent reports that the registrar suspended 4 UTME registration agents.
At all the centers inspected, Professor Oloyede had a one-on-one interaction with the candidates. It was expository, as he discovered that 4 UTME registration agents were collecting above the normal registration fee. This led to their immediate suspension.
We are in Lagos, and I've discovered where you sold the fee higher than the price. You will get to know now, because I have the evidence, and we are going to suspend you now, immediately.
He said they have no reason to extort candidates because the board pays them 5% of whatever they generate from the approved amount weekly.
You can see even the most embarrassing discovery we got today of a bank that is affiliating with remitter to extort candidates for up to 3,000. Even those who are doing 99 kobo, we are suspending them, not to talk of a bank which are not go on the script, and you are not courageous enough to give the receipt. You gave the candidate receipt of 5,700 and collected 8,700 from them.
On the second day of the inspection, the JAMB team uncovered a center where one person thumb printed for 4 students, as well as an unlicensed registration center.
We don't wait till people attempt. We want to detect. So we're strengthening our detection now so that the attempts can now be reduced.
JAMB insists that the deadline of February 14 stands, as there will not be an extension.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time now for a break. The news will be back with Lydia in Abuja.
Thank you for joining us back in Abuja. Now let's go back to our story on the markets. It is barely a week to deadline of the 10-day extension for the retrieval of the old Naira notes. The situation seems to be the same as cash-strapped Nigerians struggle to adjust to the new reality. Bosde Abel is standing by with an update from some markets in the FCT.
This is the famous Wuse market in Abuja. Businesses are on standstill because most of the traders are on queue at some of the ATM terminals in the market to get cash. Before we knew what was happening, our attention was called to this scene. Someone collapsed due to exhaustion.
Settle this issue as soon as possible so that everybody, you can get your money whenever you want it.
I want them to make it easy for us to be withdrawing our money.
Even if you go to the other ATM, you can come back and tell somebody that you left this line, you've gone.
We actually need more circulation of the new cash. While traders are hustling for cash at various ATM terminals at the Wuse market, the case seemed to be different here in Gariki Model Market.
They have finished the whole money at the ATM. Even if they are not paying you the normal money you need, they will give you 1,000, 2,000.
Transfer network is slow. I mean, it's really discouraging, sincerely.
To transfer, there is no network. So it's just frustrating. Most of them, they will go. And most of them, I will collect their numbers. And up to today, like the people that did transfer yesterday, they have not seen their money.
I'm here not to come and buy money. I didn't come to buy any food stuff. I'm here to come and buy because in my street there are a lot of ATM, but queue there you will stay 2 days, you have not cashed out anything.
That's the situation update here in Abuja markets. I am Bosede Abel. Over to you in the studio.
Thank you, Bosede. Nigeria has made massive progress in managing the economy despite challenging local and global developments that characterize the year 2022. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed at the 65th session of the State House briefing said the gains were achieved through active collaboration with other ministries, departments and agencies as well as development partners. The year also witnessed the development, approval and launch of the National Development Medium-Term Plan 2021 to 2025 and the completion of Nigeria's Agenda 2050.
Produced in January 2019. The non-oil revenue share of total federal government revenues to fund the budget increased from that time from 30% to 73%. And we think this is a very important achievement. In particular, revenues collected by the Federal Inland Revenue Service grew from 6 trillion from 2021 to 10.1 trillion in 2022. So
the year also witnessed investments in critical infrastructure, citizen participation in the budgetary process, as well as data supply. The Nigerian Army has reiterated commitment to training and retraining its personnel to broaden their scope and maintain effectiveness in line with its doctrine and policies. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, restated this during the 2023 Combined Training and Doctrine Seminar held at Chadok, Nigerian Army Headquarters, Minna. Salamatu Umar reports.
The annual seminars seek to set the pace for training and doctrinal development activities in the command, as well as guide the Nigerian Army in general to enhance the effective service delivery. The seminar is with the theme, Enhancing Training and Operations Through Doctrinal Imperatives in a Joint Environment.
All Nigerian Army divisions must be progressively evaluated. Also, it is important that timely doctrinal evaluation of Nigerian Army operations are conducted. These measures, amongst others, will greatly help towards ensuring that our training processes are able to produce administrative and logistic efficiency and combat effectiveness in our operations and plans.
This seminar therefore calls on us all to demonstrate qualities of proactiveness and ingenuity to our training, operations, and in all aspects of our military affairs.
The seminar was not without inauguration of some projects at the Minna cantonment. From Minna, Salamat Umar, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Immigration Service Akwa Ibom State Command has paraded 510 irregular migrants arrested during the command's mop-up exercise from different parts of the state. Calvin Samuel reports that arrangements are in top gear for their repatriation.
These are 510 irregular migrants from neighboring Cameroon, Ghana, and Nigerian Republic residing in Akwa Ibom State without proper documentation and known sources of income. Investigation revealed that some of the irregular migrants were found with Nigerian permanent voters card, which, according to the controller of immigration, Akwa Ibom State Command, Francisca Descartes, contravenes the nation's immigration law, leading to their arrests.
We are also calling on Nigerians to please refrain from harboring foreigners without informing Nigerian Immigration Service.
Further note that while the country is hospitable and open to migrants, those interested in coming in must follow due process.
No one has stopped them from migrating to Nigeria because migration is part of life. The truth is, when you're going to somebody's country, ensure that you have those basic documents.
Among the irregular migrants are 255 Ghanaians, 213 Cameroonians, and 42 persons from Niger Republic arrested from Uyo, Eket, Ibuno, and 18 local government areas of the state, all of which have been profiled for possible repatriation. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel.
The leadership recruitment process in any constitutional democracy is a procedure prescribed by the law. Under the Nigerian law, the use of electronic device is now part and parcel of the electoral process as enshrined in the Electoral Act 2022. In this report, Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk takes a look at 3 striking features of the Electoral Act 2022 as the nation prepares for 2023 general election.
One of the striking features of the Electoral Act 2022 is the introduction and deployment of electronic device in the electoral process. With sections 41 and 47 subsection 2 and 3, the use of electronic device during the electoral process is now part of the law of the land. In line with section 160 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, INEC came up with regulations and guidelines for the conduct of elections 2022. In the guidelines, clauses 18, 19, and 20 made the use of electronic device for the accreditation of voters during election mandatory.
What the Act has done is to try to entrench a legal and regulatory regime of electoral integrity by the use of a smart card and other technological device to be deployed for the accreditation of voters. Now, I am happy that this has been tried, I think, in 3 states already, where it's been shown that it has worked. And I'm happy about the fact that INEC followed that up by making provisions in the guidelines, the new guidelines.
And now a provision that smart card reader will be the first point of call, and or any other technology devices.
The implication of this is that INEC by law is done with the use of incident forms in the electoral process. Another landmark provision in the Electoral Act 2022 is section 65, which empowers INEC to review the decision of the returning officer which was not made voluntarily or made contrary to the provisions of the law.
Section 65(1) provides that the powers of INEC to review within 7 days is mandatory. But if you contrast that with section 65(2), it provides that decision of a returning officer may be reviewed by the election tribunal or court of competent jurisdiction. It's not mandatory, may be reviewed. Now, under section 65(1), INEC is statutorily obliged to review a decision or an announcement by an electoral officer within 7 days where that decision was not made voluntarily.
Section 65 is saying is that we are the INEC, we have the latitude to review his decision. And mind you, not to scare people, because everybody has been saying INEC has power to review. Not every of the INEC decision that INEC has power to review.
The other major provision in the Electoral Act 2022 is Section 3, Subsection 3, which mandated the federal government to release funds for the conduct of general election 1 year before the election.
I think this is very good. It will enable the Commission to ensure that it's properly prepared.
As the nation prepares for the 2023 general election, the legal practitioners believe strongly that the new provisions in the Electoral Act 2022 will aid the conduct of the election. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Critical issues of national interest took center stage at the Interfaith Dialogue Forum for Peace as stakeholders fine-tune ways for a peaceful conduct of the 2023 general election. Omenka Marachuku completes the report.
With the 2023 general elections around the corner, these stakeholders are meeting to brainstorm on possible ways of conducting the 2023 general elections without rancor and chaos. Top election managers of the process are also optimistic that the deployment of necessary measures and awareness on the do's and don'ts will serve as a enabler for bringing avoidable gaps and improving on the exercise.
We believe that probably this will be the best election in the history of Nigeria because of a lot of technology that have been put in place.
It's a time to use the pulpit managers to propagate peace and peaceful election. That is the business of the places of worship and the role of people of faith.
We have so much in common in Nigeria that will benefit us as a people if we stick together than playing off religious and ethnic negativities to divide our country.
Nigerians must be reminded that it is only God who can give us leaders that are credible, but we on our side must vote our consciences.
It is hoped that the dialogue will provide a framework in consolidating on the nation's democratic process. In Abuja, Omenka Marachuku, NTA News.
Our next stop on Nationwide is Enugu, and Chinenye is standing by with more stories. Hello, Chinenye.
Lydia, thank you so much for joining us in Enugu. Participants at a one-day Southeast Zonal Public Hearing on the review of remuneration package want it applied on some public office holders in Nigeria, considering the current economic situation in the country, as well as to increase accountability and transparency in their activities. The public hearing is at the instance of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission. Gathered in this hall are key players in the political, judicial, and public service sectors, as well as civil society groups. They are here to review the remuneration packages for political, public, and judicial office holders, which was last reviewed in 2008, 15 years ago. One of the functions of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation, and Fiscal Commission, organizers of this exercise, is to examine the existing remuneration package of office holders and review from time to time the revenue allocation formula and principles in operation to ensure conformity with the changing realities.
Inflation, the political realities, the changes in economic affairs. So we are looking at it because things have changed fundamentally. In particular, what is concerned the judicial office holders, where a situation where a judge will be in one position for the next 15 years in the same salary structure. And so we are looking at that as a review we are trying to do.
Participants at the event believe that there should be urgent need to review the remuneration package of judicial office holders, as it will motivate and enhance the quick dispensation of justice and reduce corruption in the country.
We will be talking about salaries, but these are people that we pay for everything they do, the water they drink. Even when they want to sneeze, we pay for their sneezing. So when we talk about reviewing salaries, their own must not be lumped up with public office holders or public civil servants.
It is hoped that the outcome of this public hearing, conducted simultaneously in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, will go a long way in helping the Commission close the gap in salary disparity existing among some public office holders. To ensure accuracy and a balanced reportage during and after the 2023 general elections, media practitioners should consider gender at all levels of news production, from the editorial department where decisions are made to the field where stories are gathered. This was a talking point during a capacity building training for media personnel on gender reporting in Enugu State. The acting zonal director, NTA Enugu Network Center, was among the facilitators. Comfort Ayim reports.
In time past, there were very few women in politics, but today, women participation is gradually growing, but the commitment is still lacking at all levels of governance. And this capacity building strictly for media practitioners on gender-sensitive reporting during the 2023 general elections is a preparatory class for journalists and producers to do the needful by balancing the presence of female and male in their reportage. The facilitator says when the male and female get the same amount of coverage and representation in a story, it will allow the media to accurately reflect society and actions.
When you even talk about gender-sensitive reporting, it is about the ethics of the profession. It talks about applying the ethics, but bearing in mind that women are underreported.
Selection of sources and stories, elimination of gender stereotypes, use of choice language, ethics in journalism practice in Nigeria, editorial independence were among topical issues on agenda.
Get towards observance of elections, looking at elections from the gender lens.
The message is always to give women voice.
Women need to also work together to encourage one another.
This Women's Situation Room Nigeria is an umbrella of Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. It is the oldest women's peace organization the world over, founded by the first black and African woman, Professor Joy Ada Onyenso, to build sustainable peace within communities in Nigeria. In Enugu, Comfort, Ayim, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Lydia, it's back to you in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Chinenye. Towards the successful general elections, as well as improved governance, the Church has a crucial role of mobilizing and sensitizing the electorate on active participation for Nigeria to achieve monumental growth and development. This is the crux of discussions at a town hall meeting in Akure, Ondo State, on the forthcoming general election. Toyin Batire reports.
The role of the church is crucial in all spheres of life, so also is its impact in achieving credible elections. This formed the basis for the gathering of major stakeholders at the town hall meeting with the theme, the role of the church in mobilizing the general public towards successful general elections.
If we factor in the fact that we exist within a larger society where we become ordinary citizens at the end of the day, then we must do our best to make that society work.
As Nigerians prepare to rise another history in determining leaders, the church is also not relenting in mobilizing its members and sensitizing them on the need to get their permanent voter cards.
Let us be determined. See your PVC as your personal identity, your birthright.
The meeting also urged political leaders to collaborate with non-partisan religious leaders in the country to collectively find a lasting solution to challenges facing the country. In Akure, Toyin Batire, NTA News.
Presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has urged party loyalists who have not collected their PVCs to quickly do so, as it is the only weapon for the party's victory in the coming elections. He was speaking when he visited Abattoir Market in Agege, Obalende, and Mile 12 in Lagos State. Mohammed Ali reports.
This is Abattoir Market in Agege local government area of Lagos State, where the presidential candidate of NNPP got his reception. Kwankwaso was happy with the support and love given to him, promising to improve the well-being of the market to meet global standards. In Obalende area, the two-time Kano governor had an interface with the leadership and asked party members who are yet to collect PVC to do so as their votes count. The presidential candidate used the opportunity to assure the people of Obalende of free education, security of lives and property if elected.
We only need 25% in Lagos State. Do the needful and vote for NNPP.
At Mile 12, a densely populated area of Lagos State, Rabiu Musa Konkoso rounded off his tour by visiting Sarkin Hausawa Haruna Jibrin and intimated him on his plans for Nigeria. He urged the people of the area to come out in mass and vote for NNPP in the next election. From Lagos, Muhammad Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has appealed to the public to disregard claims by the PDP presidential candidate that he is having discussions with other candidates of northern extraction to step down for him. At a press conference in Abuja, national chairman of the party, Professor Ahmed Rufai Alkali, said, having taken campaigns to most parts of the country and received endorsement from Nigerians who have vowed to ensure victory of Senator Kwankwaso, it is only by imagination that anyone would expect NNPP to withdraw from an election that is few weeks away. He urged those spreading the fake news to do well by campaigning for their choice candidate rather than building an imaginary hope on others stepping down for them.
So we want to put it on record that as far as we are concerned, we have no engagement with Atiku Abubakar at whatever level. He is running his campaign, we are running our campaign. He wants to be the president of Nigeria, which is a legitimate aspiration, but he should also know that there are other people who have the right under the Nigerian constitution to also aspire to be the president of this country. And Senator Rabi Musa Kwankwaso is one person who has done everything in this country, who has served at every level to justify his position as a forerunner and a front-runner for this office of the President of Nigeria.
Abubakar Musa is in Maiduguri waiting to give us more stories. Hello, Abubakar, you're on.
That's true, Lydia. It's always nice to see you, actually. Let's begin with issues concerning security here. 7th Division General Court Martial Operation Hadinkai has sentenced a private soldier to death by hanging on 4-count charge of murder and attempted murder. President of the Court Martial, Brigadier General Richard Palm, delivered the judgment at Memulari Cantonment in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Memuna Garba has the rest of the story.
The soldier Private Musa Saleh of 112 Task Force Battalion Mafa in Borno State was tried on 4-count charge of murder, assault and attempted murder, where he killed 5 people, caused bodily injuries and left others with permanent disability, as well as attempted killing of his fellow soldier in Mafa town in 2022. According to the president of the court martial, Brigadier General Richard Palm, the convict Private Musa Saleh pleaded not guilty to the 4-count charge, hence transferred the burden of proof of charges on the prosecution counsel. He said the prosecution counsel therefore called 6 witnesses and tendered 11 exhibits to establish the 4-count charge, while the defense counsel called the accused soldier as a witness and tendered 1 exhibit. President of the court-martial said that after careful consideration of the evidences tendered, the court-martial declared that there was a clear breach of codified laws and passed its judgment.
The sentence of the General Court-martial on you are as follows. Count 1. The sentence is death by hanging. Count 2, 24 months imprisonment. Count 3, 24 months imprisonment. Count 4, life imprisonment.
The matter between Nigerian Army and Private Musa Saleh has come to an end, and I think we'll put our house in order and do the needful at the right time.
The judgments, according to the president of the court-martial, are subject to confirmation by the confirming authority, where the convict has right to appeal within 3 months. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
Away from security now. With peace finally taking root in the once devastated communities in Nigeria's northeast sub-region, Managing Conflicts in Nigeria program has challenged development partners to consolidate and continue with peace-building initiatives for sustainable growth of the country. This was part of submissions during the end of program closure for managing conflict in Nigeria, an initiative of the British Council with funding from European Union. Umaru Kirawa will now bring us more details.
Since the wake of the decade-long Boko Haram insurgency that has threatened the survival of the people in the northeast Nigeria, Managing Conflicts in Nigeria (MCN), a peace initiative of the British Council with funding from the European Union, has continued to explore avenues of engaging stakeholders to help address the growing concern. Having achieved so many feats in funding peace programs, empowering women, supporting victims of sexual violence, establishment of sexual assault referral centers, building capacities of community-based organizations, partners and fast-tracking peace-building process in Borno State and Nigeria, the British Council has ended the conflict management program. Stakeholders from the representatives of the Chief Judge of Borno State, Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Commissioner of Women Affairs, Commissioner of Police, National Human Rights Commission, Nigerian Union of Journalists, NSCDC, NDLEA, traditional leaders, PACH, CSOs, people living with disability, among others, appreciated MCN, highlighting how it had impacted positively by creating synergy and contributed immensely to peace and security in the country. While presenting an impact report of the MCN, National Technical Lead of the program, Dr. Okoha Ukiyo, and the State Team Lead, Amin Buba Dibal, in addition to Program Manager Fatima Ibrahim Kida, thanked Borno State and Federal Government for the maximum support over the years, calling on the need for government to put more efforts in the de-radicalization program, investment in empowerment, and comprehensive development of Security Pillar 9 of the 25-year development plan of Borno. In Maiduguri, Umaru Kirawa, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories. For now, from Maiduguri, Lydia is back to you in Abuja.
Thank you for staying. Federal Fire Service is strengthening capacity of its personnel across the country to ensure competence and professionalism in managing tendencies of fire disasters during the forthcoming 2023 polls. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
It is few weeks away from the much-anticipated 7th circle election since the return of democracy in 1999, and stakeholders are concerned in making the difference.
Use it judiciously, deploy your men and material to that place.
And the Federal Fire Service is tightening up loose ends to ensure maximum protection of INEC facilities before, during, and after the national exercise.
The current fire attacks on INEC offices and personnel nationwide have heightened the need for this brainstorming section. It is essential that we come up with solution to this problem in order to ensure the safety of INEC critical infrastructure, personnel, and integrity of the electoral process.
As a first step measure, the agency is deploying modern firefighting trucks across geopolitical spread of the country to forestall any outbreak of fire, as well as provide adequate security cover for its personnel on election duty. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Let's join Agatha in Benin for more news. Hello, Agatha.
Hello, Lydia. Thank you for joining us in Benin. Now, there is an improvement on the availability of premium motor spirit, PMS, also known as Petrol, in Benin City, the Edo State capital. Paul Omukago, who monitored the situation, reports that marketers are selling between 189 and 205 naira per litre, as against 500 and 550 naira per litre.
This is one of two major marketers selling the product at the Donsen area of Akwakwaba.
Normalcy has returned to the streets of Benin after 2 days of protests over the non-availability of premium motor spirit, popularly known as Petrol. What has changed after 2 days of protests in Benin?
Most of the petrol stations that have
maize in their dip, refused selling. But as a result of this protest, they were able to come out and start selling fuel.
I didn't spend much, and their service was okay. So for you, it's almost back to normal. In fact, this is normal.
The price they are selling is what they are there. They are not using calculator. That is the normal price they are selling.
Just some meters from here, the situation looks slightly different in terms of orderliness.
This is one filling station that has not been dispensing petrol to the motoring public for a very long time. But surprisingly, after 2 days of protest, the filling station is on today.
We decided to lock some of the gates and allow them to come in, like 10 cars to go in. After selling for those 10 cars, we will now give like 2 or 3 jerry cans. The reason for jerry cans is that some people will complain that their vehicle have stopped along the road. Some of them need to run their generator for pumping of water.
Vehicular and human traffic on this axis of the city has also improved.
As at last 2 weeks, it was 450, 400, but now it's 300.
It will be recalled that the Edo State government responded to the plight of commuters and motorists by monitoring the supply and distribution of PMS in the state. In Benin, Paulo Mukabo, NTA News.
In the meantime, Nigerians in Benin City are still having a hard time getting cash from their various banks to run their homes or transact businesses. Eugenia Ndubisi was in town and captured the stress bank customers go through. She also spoke with an economist on the way forward.
It is a difficult thing at this period for Nigerians to get cash from banks, whether the new or old Naira notes.
What do you see the complaint for?
Apart from being time-consuming, many people still go home without getting any cash.
They are paying just only 20,000, and if you are from other bank, they will not allow you to collect.
Since morning, now they're here. When deadline, so they said they don't pay us inside bank. But we come outside with our ATM.
Look at the numbers of ATM here. We are using only one to dispense. Imagine
when you go to POS, you say you want to withdraw 10,000, they'll say 1,500.
To eliminate the pitfalls associated with the new Naira notes and to ensure smooth transition, Professor Mike Obadan urged CBN to monitor commercial banks properly.
For the usual, character of some Nigerians and economic agents that seek to take advantage of new public policies for their own sake. The central bank has a responsibility here to monitor that aspect of the implementation and ensure that the commercial banks are not dispensing the old notes again.
The general consensus is that there should be enough of the redesigned Naira note in circulation so that Nigerians will have access to cash. In Benin, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
That's it here. Lydia, it's back to you for the rest of Nationwide.
Thank you, Agatha. Corruption has been identified as one of the marks of an inefficient civil service. Now, the Ministry of Transportation is working with the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and Code of Conduct Bureau on ways of enhancing service delivery in public service. At a sensitization workshop on eliminating graft organized by the ministry, the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Magdalene Ajani, highlighted transparency, accountability, and integrity as keys to productivity.
It's very key in the public service to give Nigerians that trust that the public service can be free from corruption and services can be rendered more efficiently. This sensitization effort is one of the strategies aimed at sanitizing the public sector and ensuring that Nigerians live in a corrupt-free society.
The Commission also acknowledges management efforts in ensuring compliance with policies and ethical standards as evident in the Ministry's score and rating on the Commission's annual ethics and compliance scorecard in 2021 and 2022, with the Ministry maintaining its compliance score and its position among the first three.
Outstanding ministry staff were recognized for exceptional performance.
I want to assure you that to whom much is given,
much is expected. This has increased my faith, and I'm going to do more.
Indeed, it's a call to serve, and we appreciate it as a department for the opportunity to serve.
The forum also discussed strategies for tackling corruption in the office. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the owners and management of Arise News Channel on their 10th anniversary, commending them for their efforts at ridding Nigeria of colonial mindsets and promoting Nigeria's heritage. A statement by the President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, quotes President Buhari as urging Arise TV to continue leading the way in transforming the society. That's the end. That's all we can take on Nationwide this evening. Thank you for being a part of it. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. Don't forget to join NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. Good evening.